So today I want to talk to you about relationships. Normally I use these videos to talk about various aspects of dreaming and how it relates to your daily life. And one of the things that is happening a lot right now is that people are dreaming about their relationships, particularly if they are at home with someone that they're in a relationship with. And that can be a partner, or that could be kids, right? So there are a number of things happening. Many times in our culture, relationships are formed, initially anyway, because we see something in our potential partner that we need to fall in love with in ourselves. Okay. And so this is the whole idea of projection. We see, oh, they can do it, so we don't have to, but I would love to be able to do that. And I love the fact that they can do that, and therefore I'm attracted to them. And, just like when we go through a transformational process, we start with what we don't want to finally get to what we do want. That aspect of the beginning of a relationship is not abnormal. I mean, it happens a lot that we fall in love with something in someone else that we actually need to fall in love with in ourselves. The relationship is not going to go well if that's where it gets stuck. And many times, if people are into some sort of level of self-awareness, there ends up being a conflict from the standpoint that if they actually become self-aware, if they actually become self-sufficient in themselves, the concern is, well, yeah, but then, what if I'm no longer in love with this other person? It's it's a it's a way that we have screwed ourselves up culturally in terms of what relationships are about. The idea is not that you're in a relationship because you are being made happy by someone else. It's you are in a relationship because this is a person who you can share your own happiness with. You can share your own experience with, and you will be heard. That's a mature and useful and productive and joyful relationship. It comes from the idea of wanting to share, not the idea of, I need this person because without them, I won't be happy. It's kind of a basic concept that we struggle with a great deal. And it kind of ties in with this idea of what people call the now. Okay, so what is the now? Well, it's not a point in time, because if it was a point in time, how many nows are there? Well, infinite. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. No, that's not what the now is about. The now is not tied to linear time. How do we know this? Well, one reason, or one sort of hint, is that your dreams are not tied to time. Your sleep is not tied to time. When you go to sleep at night and get up in the morning, if you slept 8 hours, and I hope you're sleeping 8 hours, you don't feel like 8 hours went by. You feel like you went to sleep, you woke up, right? It's what we would call the deep sleep. And the intermediary between the deep sleep, or what we might call consciousness, is your dreams. And that's the flow, right? Is your consciousness is always pulling you into more awareness of itself. And yes, there does sometimes need to be a conversation back and forth. You have experience, you feed that experience into your awareness, and then the dream evolves. Okay. So, why am I telling you about dreams? Because a lot of people are dreaming these days. Why are they dreaming? Because they don't have all this other stuff to fill up their brains. It's kind of like, it's amazing. People in Los Angeles can actually see the sky. Okay. There are dolphins in the channels in Venice. It's like all these things that are waiting to be experienced by us haven't been, because they've all been clogged up with yuck. Okay. It's the same kind of thing in terms of our awareness in our own personal lives. When we take away all the busy monkey mind stuff, we become much more aware of who we are. And so the now is timeless. And I think I mentioned this in a previous video. It's like that's why when people get older, they say, well, I don't feel 55, you know, I feel younger. My body doesn't actually work the way it did 30 years ago, but I don't feel 55, right? Yeah, you don't because you're not. Okay. You aren't. Your body is, but you aren't 55. You are timeless and eternal. So, what's happening is that we are beginning to see and realize that relationship is about something different than we thought it was about. A lot of people get into economic partnerships in this country, right? And that's not strictly just to this country, but you become attracted to somebody, you get together, you have a family, and both of you probably work, and there's a whole economic enterprise that's going on. And sometimes maybe you touch base, but a lot of times you don't. What's going on now is forcing that. What's going on now is an opportunity to really understand what relationship is about, and that it is, the most basic human experience to relate to someone else, to be in relationship with someone else. And so the basic idea that I wanted to share with you today is that someone else is an audience for your joy. That someone else is not the source of your joy. And if you haven't had that conversation in your relationship, it might be a good thing to do. Might be a good conversation to have. Because as everybody has said, the world's going to be a very different place in another month, certainly from the economics perspective, but it's going to be a different place in terms of how we relate to each other and what we think is important. And so laying the groundwork for that now in terms of the relationship you have would be a really good idea. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope you're taking care of yourselves and you're safe, and I'll see you soon.